everybody. Welcome in, come on in. It's your girl Shema here on Help Me Out. Thank you for joining me today. So, health and wellness. Health and wellness, all a part of personal development, okay? Feeling good, looking good, smelling good, some of y'all tasting good. Okay, so this is going to be a 3-part series, you guys. So today I'm going to talk about health and wellness for women, peri-menopausal, maybe some teen stuff. We'll see what comes out of me. But for the most part, for women. And then tomorrow we'll go over men, health and wellness for men. And then the next video will be a general overview of healthcare and the things that you should know when you're selecting a physician, when you're selecting a facility, when you're trying to make sure you have the best healthcare. I want to eliminate some myths about medical professionals and doctors and nurses. I just want to give you an inside view of what I see as a nurse. A licensed vocational nurse. Yes, I'm sorry. Let me tell y'all that. I'm a licensed vocational nurse. Though that is not the limit of my education. I started off in the BSN program, Bachelor's of Science in Nursing at UT, University of Texas. And I realized I was missing some things and things wasn't clicking. So I withdrew and then I went to get my LVN. And that's where I found all my good stuff, all of my skills, my talents. And then I went back and did my RN with Excelsior up in Albany, New York, upstate. And I finished all my courses. I just need to take my NCLEX. My NCLEX is just that simple. My state exam and my clinical exam with my instructors. That's it. I'm an RN. But I haven't chosen to take that because shame on me, y'all, but y'all finna hear it. Once I started my business, I started making so much money. More than I would if I was an RN working in a hospital somewhere. And so I just never went back and did it. I didn't finish my exam. So I was in La La Land and traveling the world and doing my thing. So anyhow, I'm a licensed vocational nurse, but I hold a lot of knowledge, educational and experiential, though I only practice within my scope of practice as a licensed vocational nurse. So anyhow, that's what the third video is going to demystify some myths about LVNs and RNs, the difference with nurses, what that means. And so it kind of wraps everything up on that third video. So this is just a little one-time series I'm doing, but if you guys through these videos find that you like the content, you want to know more about something in your healthcare or mental health or anything like that, just shoot me a message on here, comment. I'll reply back, or go to my website futureprome.com, hit me up on the contact list. Yeah, and you know, I'll reach out. So healthcare for women, perimenopausal. I know there's an array of different issues that women can have. Our bodies are very complex. we birth and hold and incubate other living beings within our bodies. So diet is so important for us, it does not make any sense. Diet is extremely important for women. Okay, and if you pay attention to where we are with our diet and the food options that we have here in North America, you know the world won't even buy our produce. Canada, China, they won't buy our produce. They refuse to. And President Trump mentioned it 3 months ago, and I could see it on his face. He was ashamed. This is his country, and other countries won't even buy our food. So what do you think that means? Why everyone else won't buy our food, but we're buying it? Because they're on the outside looking in. They're watching us. They're watching what happens to us. They're watching what our leadership is doing to us. They're watching all of that. They won't even buy our food. And that's why Trump put JFK Jr. in play. Okay? It's embarrassing. That's embarrassing to me. So a lot of our food is processed, overly processed, high contents of sugar. Sugar leads to depression, especially if everything you eat has sugar in it. Your milkshakes, your protein shakes, your juices, even some of your canned goods. I mean, so much sugar. So much sugar. Okay, so much salt. Preservatives, they preserve everything with salt. We have imitation meat. We're eating imitation meat that's made in a machine. That is not from an actual animal. It's a stem cell of an animal, but it's incubated and made in a machine, and they sell it in fast food restaurants. People are eating it, but people don't pay attention to it. Our Food and Drug Administration, how many times have you seen something placed on a shelf and it says not approved by Food and Drug Administration? It's not even approved. But consumers are buying it, they're purchasing it, they're eating it, they're digesting it, ingesting it, and then they show up to the hospital, or they are calling me or someone in the medical profession, because now they need health care. Outpatient, inpatient, home health care. They need health care. Nursing homes. Okay? So, we see all the increase in illnesses. We see how quickly they develop drugs. And now you watch the commercials and they make it seem good, like it's good to have all these drugs for HIV, and it's okay if you get it and go out and contract it. Do what you want. We got you. We got you. How many seen one of them commercials or an ad come? You seen a commercial? Which commercial have you seen? Oh, I have herpes and my partner and I. Oh, but we're so in love. We got this. Like, what part of that is okay that you air this on TV in front of children and kids? And so you can see how sick North America is. You can see how sick, and it comes from the top. All of those people, and some of you may overlook it, but the Diddy thing is real. Some of those people that are running, the elites that have kept Trump in office, the elites that are above the law and above the other nations, those people, they're sick. Because whatever we see here, it drizzled from the top. It always starts from the head. It always starts from the head, and then it goes like this. So if you trace this back to the head, you're going to find where the sickness is. You're going to find where the illness is. Why are we eating imitation meat? Why are we eating so much sugar and salt? Why is our food so cheaply made? Why are the drugs, they're coming out with so many drugs and they're selling it to you? Keep eating what you're eating. Even though the Food and Drug Administration has not approved it. Even though you can literally hear doctors talking and saying it's a moneymaker. They do the food that way to get people sicker so that they'll run to the doctors, and the insurance companies have to pay this money, and the people have to get those, and the money comes back in our pocket, and we have these drugs. So you guys have to open your mind and open your eyes to see and pay attention. So when these people are doing these things, you're still at home taking care of your families, yourself, right? So whose decision and choice is it to pay attention to what people are trying to put on your table? It's your responsibility. What are they trying to sell to put on your table to make money off of you, and then when you die, make money off your kids and your grandkids? And the only choices you have is to make your own choices about your table and the nutrition you feed yourself and your family. Men and women, what are you feeding yourself? And I'm natural and spiritual. That is natural right there. But then it goes to spiritual. What are you feeding yourself? You feeding yourself spiritual things that are not correct. Where did the name Jesus Christ come from? What's his real name? Yahweh? Yeshua? Emmanuel? Ohio? You see what I'm saying? Where did Jehovah, you know what I'm saying? So all of the infiltrations that even they put in the religious books, you know, what are you feeding yourself? Are you allowing people to feed you anything, or are you doing your own research? Are you tapping in with the Lord, allowing him to speak to you about your healthcare choices, your food choices? And I'm going to pause right here. Click like, click subscribe. Click like, click subscribe, share. You know, and I'm what's considered a holistic nurse. And you've heard me say this. I'm holistic in everything that I do. Meaning I'm looking at your mind, your mentality, your psyche. I'm looking at your body, physical, your posture. Because your posture also says about what's going on inside. I'm looking at you spiritually, what the Lord is speaking to me, and what I see behind your flesh, in your soul and in your spirit. Emotionally, because it's all interconnected. So when I look at you, I'm looking at all of that. And it's going to lead me to your diet, natural, spiritual. What are you feeding yourself in the natural? What are you feeding yourself in the spiritual? What are you watching and setting before your eyes every day? What's going into your soul and into your spirit that you're allowing to cause you to make you feel good in a good space with it, but it's not healthy to you? And you hear me say all the time, I had to make hard decisions. Vegas is my apple pie. I'm born and raised. That's my apple pie, baby. It's good. It's plenty of sugar. Plenty of sugar, baby. But Texas is my chicken salad. I know what's right for me. I know what's going to give me longevity. So what are you feeding yourself? The food choices we have here in North America. And if you see, JFK last week did make it illegal to use red dye in our foods. So the foods will no longer have those dyes in it. Not all the dyes, but he's working on it. But that's a step in the right direction. There's no way that teenagers should be having so much diabetes. Type 2. Why they all got Why they got diabetes? Why they overweight? Why are the boys having heart palpitations? Are you guys paying attention to this? What are you feeding your sons? What are you eating? My son is 28 now, but I said when he was 27, he came to me. He said, Mama, I was having a heart palpitation. And he young. He out the military, Marine Corps. He ain't got no issues. He done have vigorous physical examinations and all that. Never had the problem. You know, he get out. He out here. But, you know, and I've raised my boys. He starts looking at the food. He identifies soy. He says soy is not good for men. It's not good for our testosterone. What are you teaching your children? How do you teach your children to eat? It's not just about the physical food they eat. It's about the spiritual food they eat. It's about the mental food they eat. What's developing and feeding your child? What's developing and feeding you? Okay? And you guys overlook my cowgirl shirt a little bit. I got this shirt from the National Black Rodeo up in Louisiana. So, hey. Yeah. Okay, so I put a little commercial in here for y'all. Go and purchase my book, What Future Me Told Me. It helps you to identify your gifts, your talents, and your purpose and calling in life. Why God created you. It helps you to work out all of your childhood trauma, forgive, let go, receive the Holy Spirit, and move on to a more productive and purposeful life. And I have 2 albums that released, Who Am I? And I Am. A secular album and a Christian album, which was done intentionally. It will help you work out. It's connected to the book. There are songs in each of the chapters that are referenced for you to listen to as you work through your issues. You work through changing your mindset in that book. So I do have country music on my albums. Both albums have country music. And you will be seeing a music video coming out soon of one of my country songs off the Christian album, I Am. And so you can go onto your streaming platforms, every streaming platform, Apple, iTunes, Pandora, iHeartRadio, except for Spotify. That's the only one I did not place the music on. And you can hear the albums there. Click the like button on my albums. The links to purchase the albums will be in the description below, and to purchase the book. I also have products on my website, teacher t-shirts, mugs, hoodies, candles, makeup bags, a journal. Get your journal and journal every day. Journal every day. Journal about what you're feeding yourself. Journal about the next steps you're going to take in your peri-menopausal, your growth and development as a woman. And journal that stuff every day to keep yourself on track, to make sure you're hitting the goals, to make sure you're healthy, and you'll be here for your kids, your grandkids, your family, your friends, your life. So go check me out on that. Click like, click subscribe, and watch out for my country music videos. And I have a country line dance coming out, so check me out, y'all. Yeah, so enough on that. So let's start with hormones. With all the artificial food that we're eating, we're not getting the sustenance that we need. Okay, we are not getting the nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, all of that good stuff. We're not getting those. Very, very little, less and less. How much do you think you're going to get from artificial food? How much vitamin A and D and E and K do you think you're going to get from artificial food that is being manufactured, super manufactured? Okay, so when you go into your doctors, first thing, ladies, when they do your panels, your blood panels, your lab work, your CBCs, your TSHs, all your good stuff, make sure you request that they look at your estrogen levels and your progestin levels. Ask them to look at your hormone levels to see where they are. Okay, because when you 14, 13, however old you start your menstrual cycle, your hormones are kicking. Now, this doesn't matter if you're naturally menopausal or if it was a surgical menopausal. Surgical meaning you had a hysterectomy, you had a partial hysterectomy, right? Partial hysterectomy. Did they take your uterus and leave your ovaries? Did they take your cervix and your ovaries and your uterus? That's a full hysterectomy. A partial is when they leave something. You got something to work with. Okay. If they took your ovaries, you're missing hormones. You're missing hormones, those hormones that kick off to help you with your bones, with your muscles. Those hormones that help you, that hit other hormones, your pituitary gland, other hormones, your adrenal glands, all those hormones, your reproductive hormones. Once your reproductive hormones are gone, because these hormones would send out messages to the reproductive hormones. They all connect and they talk to each other. But you're missing some now. And usually when you have a hysterectomy, they'll place you on HRT, hormone replacement therapy. It could be Premarin. It could be estradiol. It could be different types. They have phytohormones and estrogen hormones. Okay, so depending on which you take, some might do well with you, some may not do well with you. Maybe that the regular estrogen hormones, which are made out of horse urine, and I know you guys have heard, many of you have heard that, it is made out of horse urine. A lot of things in food and things that we use to eat and heal and do different things, it comes from animal urine, animal feces. My son was just telling me the other day, they made out of goat balls. I said, what? We taking that? But what do you go figure? We eat chitlins. What's chitlins? Pig intestines? Why we eating that? So we eat all kind of things here. But anyhow, if you're not with that and it doesn't do well with your body, then you have the phyto hormone, which is plant-based. Instead of, out of horse urine, they'll use plants and they'll make it plant-based. And your results may be different, so you have to have your hormones, your progesterone, your estrogen labs measured to see if they're within normal limits. So ask your doctor to check that out. Ask your doctor to draw your vitamin D. You will be surprised on how much vitamin D impacts our body. How much. Most people think vitamin D is just because we're lacking sun. You're not getting enough sun here in North America. You need vitamin D to supplement that. Why? Because what does the sun vitamin D do? What does it do for your skin? What does it do for your hair? Why do people lay out in the sun and it feels so good and they want to get a tan? Why do people get out on the water and they just want to have the water in the sun and the rays, the sun rays glisten off the sun and it reflects and hits back on you, and it affects your hair, it affects your nails, your skin, it affects your bones, how your bones absorb calcium. Okay? If it's affecting your bones, and then the vitamin D affects T-cell generation. I'm not going to go too deep into he said T-cell generation. I'm not going to go into the thyroid hormones, and I'm not going to go too deep into it, y'all, because I can go off on a whole tangent on cellular reproduction and all that stuff. But yeah, but vitamin D is so extremely important. If you're not taking vitamin D supplements, you need to start today taking vitamin D supplements. I take the gel caps. I take 2 a day. 2 a day, faithfully. Okay? So, back to the hormones. Get those checked. Get those checked, because your diet is playing a part in that. We're eating artificial food. Food that has rubber, wax, oil, plastic in it. We're eating artificial food. I hope y'all understand that. You can research it on your own. You can Google it on your own, YouTube it on your own to find out what it is we're actually feeding our kids and putting in our body. So for those who are able, for me, I always try to go to the farmer's market. Any chance I get, I choose farmer's market over the regular grocery stores, because the farmers raise that food. It's real food with the best that they were given, but still understand they have to deal with the government. They're dealing with the governmental agriculture departments that are taking away seeded food. The only seed food they can plant is the seeds they give them that do not regrow. They have to repurchase seeds every year. That's not natural. The farmers are growing it, not in machines. They're growing it out of the ground, but still, the seed, where did the seed come from? What seeds are we eating? And where did that spirit behind that come from? Is it just about money? Who's controlling it? The same people who got the Diddy stuff going on, the same national elitists who got us looking how we looking, that the whole world won't buy our food. The same people. Y'all have to understand that. It's going to go back to the head every time. So the best thing you can do is stay close to the Lord and pray. Pray over your food. Pray over everything you ingest in your body. Even if it's on YouTube or social media. Lord, let nothing that is ill, that is not meant for me, come and enter into this vessel, into this spirit, into this soul. Make everything I view as pure as I can. The things that I cannot see, the things that I am blind to, Father God, protect my spirit, protect my soul. And let me know, don't watch that. That's not what you want to eat. It'll make you sick. It'll stick to you for a while, like a disease. Natural and spiritual. Don't be fooled just because you eat something in the natural and you can get sick, or you have sex with somebody in the natural and you get an STD, HIV, something you can't get rid of, that kind of stuff don't happen in the spirit as well. It happens in the spirit as well. And if you watch Maddie Nottage and you watch ministers like Prophet Love Your Lives, you see them delivering these people all day, and these people will tell you they know where they got some of the demonic stuff that stuck to them, that impacted their life for decades. but they could never get rid of it. Didn't know how to get rid of it. They tried everything. Natural and spiritual, y'all. I'm all natural spiritual. So, again, with the hormones, our hormones, all that stuff is off because they're trying to make money. They're trying to send people to the hospital to make that money. Now, Trump is trying to address that. JFK Jr. is working on that, so I'm glad they're working on that. But at the same time, you have to be aware, you have to be conscious, and you have to make your decisions and your choices wisely. So women, ask your doctors to draw those hormones. Look at all your levels. They look at cholesterol, they look at your thyroid hormones, they look at your blood counts, they look at your your immune system counts, your blood cells. They look at all of that stuff. But check on that vitamin D, check on your hormone levels. Okay? So, and then, as you get towards 55, 60, they try to wean you off and they don't want you on the hormones anymore, because at that point, you're supposed to be in a natural state of menopause. Now, if you're some things I want to eliminate for you guys, because some people feel like you've been down, you can't get up, you stuck mentally, you're depressed, maybe you have been suicidal, maybe you're having suicidal ideations. Okay, whatever you have going on that you feel stagnant, if you've had this, or you feel so depressed, or something, you just can't pinpoint it. You can't remember what you literally did 2 seconds ago. You was inside the house, but what did I do literally 2 seconds ago? Some people might think it's stress, and it could be stress. Some people might think, you just losing your mind, you going crazy, and it could be that if you have mental illness in your family. But a lot of times, it's your hormones are off. Your hormones are off, especially if you're peri-menopausal. If your hormone levels are too low, your memory starts getting foggy. You start hearing pops and cracks and snap, crackle, pops in your bones and your joints. Your muscles start getting weaker. You start feeling out of shape, and you think it's just because you haven't been to the gym. No, it's your hormones. It's your hormones. When your hormone levels are too low, it gets like that. And I've experienced that. I had to go to my doctor. They had to get my hormones, my HRT correct, and my memory came back. When I say memory leaving, I was losing memories of my childhood. Things I couldn't remember that I always remembered about my childhood. Hormones right, all of that stuff came back. That's how important your hormones, estrogen is. Estrogen, progestin, that's how important that is. So please get your hormones level checked if you think it's simply stress, or it's simply, you got the family mental health issue kicking in, or get your hormone levels checked and get them right. Okay. And some of you may have with the perimenopausals. Yeah, and again, like I said, your bones. Make sure you're taking your calcium. Your doctor is going to tell you take your calcium and your vitamin D. Your calcium, your vitamin D. Okay. Also, I highly recommend taking collagen by Dr. Axe, Dr. AXE. It's his collagen. Most collagens, if you go to any pharmacy or grocery store, it'll say it's collagen 1, 2, and 3, or it'll say it's collagen 2 and 5, or it only has like 3 to 5 collagens in it. But Dr. Axe's collagen has, I believe, 12, and it hits everything in your body. It hits your ligaments, it hits your cartilage, the cartilage in your nose, your ears. It hits your bones. It hits your muscles. It hits some stuff. So I notice when I'm not taking it, over a few months, I'll start hearing a pop or a crackle. Okay. But when I'm consistent with my Dr. Axe, and it doesn't have a taste to it, they have flavors to it, but I'll put it in my protein shake. I go to the gym, work out, put it in my protein shake. All of that leaves. I can feel the difference. I can feel the difference. So me personally as a nurse, that is what I take. I add, that's one of the supplements I add. Dr. Axe on his team, actually, they highly recommend it. I don't think it's just because they're doctors and they're trying to sell a product, because it is a collagen and they come up with a way to put all the collagens in versus 2 or 3 that you only find in your regular stores. And so check that out. That will also help with your muscles, your ligaments, cartilage, your hair, your skin, your nails. Okay, it helps. It's amazing product. Shout out to Dr. Axe. I do use your products. And on my skincare, I do use Lindken. You know, people always ask me, why your skin look that way? And see, you know, I do other things too. I have other products, machines at home that I use for my skincare, electrotherapy and stuff like that. But shout out to Lindken. I'm gonna holla at you. Yeah, so I'll have links to all of that stuff and everything. You can find Dr. Ike's on Amazon. You can find him in some stores. You can find some. I know he's in Whole Foods. I see it in Whole Foods. Maybe in Central Marketplace. So place, you know, like that. HEB has it. Yeah. So all of that will improve your body, your mind. Now, vaginal dryness. This is a subject I have seen and heard of women, met women, of course I'm a nurse so I see it all, who have mild to severe vaginal dryness, meaning your intercourse is going to hurt. It's going to be painful intercourse. You may be finding yourself using a lot of lubricants during sexual intercourse or intimacy moments. So for vaginal dryness, some women, they will get on a cream-based estrogen. The doctors will offer you a cream-based estrogen, which you can deposit, inject within in the vaginal canal. And sometimes that can be too strong, and it can be, you don't really need the estrogen that much. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you may use it daily, once a week, twice a week, however your physician prescribes it to you. But there are other options. And then there's always the risk, because you're already taking an HRT orally, you know, through your premarital or whatever. And then if you're also putting estrogen in your vaginal canal, then you're at double risk for cancer, you know, or some of the other side effects or adverse reactions that are attached to hormones replacement. So there's simple water-based products like Replens, Replens. Replens is a good one. It doesn't have any hormones in it. You can inject it a few times a week, and with that you will see it's just like your skin is like someone who has psoriasis. Dry, flaky, scaly skin. It'll come off, it'll dust off. You ever seen the old woman and the old man, you take their sock off and it has a bunch of flaky skin in the sock and all flaky on their feet? I know it sounds gross, y'all. I've been in the nursing homes. I've been everywhere, but that's how that Replens works. So I do recommend Replens. And no, I'm not a physician, I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you what's worked for some of the clients, patients, and what's out there. There are other ones like Replens, but I have found that Replens is probably the better one that works more effectively and provides better results. So with the Replens, it's like putting lotion on that. You putting lotion, you putting CeraVe, whatever the doctor telling you put on there, and it starts getting it so that vaginal walls, it starts to soak up that Replens, and it starts to get hydrated, and the dry skin starts coming off. And as you go to the restroom and you're using the restroom, when you go to wipe, you'll see those dead dry cells coming out. I know it sounds gross, This is peri-menopausal. This is for women. But men, if you're watching, this is what, your daughters or your grandmothers, your moms, your wives will someday be experiencing. So it's good to know. And then you have some information to offer them. Okay. Or your wife, if you're having painful sex and she's looking for options, try Replens. Try Replens. And that, so once you get, it'll start sloughing off. You'll see it coming out. It'll be on the, when you wipe yourself, it'll be on the tissue. You'll see just cells. And depending on how dry that wall is, it may take a month before you see anything for that wall, it to soak through those layers of dermis, those layers of skin through the vaginal wall. Because your vaginal wall is supposed to have, okay, it may take a while to soak through. Once it breaks through a certain point, some of the cells you see as you wipe may be red. It may come out as a reddish color. Maybe it look like blood, but it's because the wall is so dry. And I know you wouldn't fathom that a vaginal wall could be that dry, but it happens, especially when you hit menopause, post-menopause. Okay, so Replens. Once it stops sloughing, and it may take you a couple of months to get, for all of that skin to come off, all of that dry skin to come out. It may take you a month or so. And once it's off, you won't see the sloughing. You won't see the sloughing coming off anymore. That's when you'll know, okay, now my vaginal walls are in a healthy place. They're hydrated, they're healthy. You may even begin to have natural lubrication again. You may have natural lubrication again. At that point, once you've gotten all that sloughing off and that skin, then talk to your doctor again about if you feel you need the estrogen, the cream, suppository estrogen. Talk to your doctor at that point, because now that estrogen can actually get through that vaginal wall because the dry scale skin isn't there anymore. Okay, so Replens is a very good one to try to keep a healthy vaginal walls, keep them moisturized and hydrated, keep them hydrated. Okay, other things you can do to help your vaginal walls, Kegel exercises. I know some of you are aware of that, but they have Kegel balls. You can go to some of the sex stores. I believe they even sell them in Walmart. They're Kegel balls. Start using the Kegel balls to tighten up those muscles, do muscle practice, keep it tight. Keep it tight, baby, keep it tight. Kegel muscles. If you need a more advanced therapy, you need more, you can talk to your doctor about having a referral to physical therapy. They have what's called pelvic floor exercises, where they will work your pelvic floor, okay, to strengthen that pelvic floor. I've seen some women hit menopause, or maybe it was surgical menopause, whatever happened, and their bladder was prolapsing. Their bladder walls were weakening. Their bladder support was weakening. And so some doctors were referring bladder meshes or things like that. I'm going to tell you, as a professional nurse, I am not allowed to recommend or refer specific doctors by name. I am not allowed to say no to any procedures that your doctors recommend to you. I am not allowed by law to give any type of information that could be a negative impact on a product, physician, or service by a physician. But what I will tell you, as me personally, as a nurse, I will never ever in my life get a bladder mesh. I don't care if my bladder was falling out. I can tell you, every single patient I've ever had that had a bladder mesh, they are in chronic pain and have always been in pain nonstop. I can tell you that I watched them over for probably about 4 or 5 years on television, lawyers suing doctors and physicians if you had a bladder mesh, because the problems that it caused were so severe, they are irreversible. And you can Google that. You can look that up on the bladder mesh lawsuits. I recommend getting pelvic floor therapy first and foremost, before anything. So talk to your physician about pelvic floor therapy. That's a wonderful option, a wonderful place to start. So some women, when you're around perimenopausal, again, if your muscles are getting weaker and your ligaments, your tendons, your cartilage, if all that stuff is starting to weaken, I have some women I've met and they're perfectly fine and healthy, but they begin having pain. And they're like, I went to my doctor didn't see anything, but I'm having pain. I'm having pain right here in my shoulder joint. I'm having pain in my groin area where I'm supposed to have a uterus or something, but I had a total hysterectomy. I shouldn't be having pain. Why do I have pain in my groin area and I've had a total hysterectomy for years? Your muscles are weakening. Your doctor doesn't see anything because there isn't anything. The only thing there is you need to exercise. Because when your muscles weaken, it's whatever organs you have attached, those muscles are supposed to support those organs. When your organs are not being supported, they start pulling. And what's left to support that pull? You're going to feel pain. It's going to hurt. You're going to have to go to the gym, tighten up those muscles, and the pain will disappear. The pain will leave. Your muscles are too weak. Take your hormone replacement therapy because your muscle needs it. If you're under the age of 55, you should, because they're going to stop you around 55, 60. But if you're, say you need it and you're 35, 45, 50 and you're not taking your hormone replacement and you're having unexplained pain, it's because your muscles in your body isn't getting anything. And if you're not going to take the hormone replacement, that's fine. Just know that you're going to have to work a little harder at maintaining your memory and your muscles and your ligaments, your tendons. Meaning you're going to have to be in that gym or you're going to be experiencing pain. Because your muscles needs the calcium. It needs the estrogen progestin. It needs the vitamin D. It needs the collagen that you're no longer producing or you producing a lot less of. So I'll leave that information with you so you can do your own homework on how you want to play this thing out. Okay, if you're trying to avoid the estrogen, estradiol, Premarin, hormone replacement therapies. So yeah, that will help stop the pain, even in your arms. Use weight-bearing exercises. Go to the gym and do the machines where you have to pull your own body weight up. Pull your own body weight up. Push. Do those squats. Do some twerking. Do some squats. Look at some African dances on YouTube. Learn how to pop them hips in that booty and squat. Or do something. Okay, so those are some things that I would say about the vaginal lining and the pH changes. Again, your diet. When you're around perimenopause, you're going to have pH changes in your body, in your vaginal walls. Okay, well, your pH maybe might have been more alkalinic, now it's being more acidic, and again, with your diet. Do you like eating a lot of, you might drink a lot of water with a whole lot of lemon juice and lemon in it all the time. That's acidic. You're taking in more acid into your body. Are you eating a lot more yogurts? Yogurts has yeast. That's more yeast you're taking in your body. As your body changes, does your body tolerate yeast anymore? Are you developing more yeast infections? Look at your diet. What are you eating that has more yeast in it? Wine has yeast in it. When you make wine, my dad make bootleg liquor. He sent me to the store all the time to buy packets of yeast so he can put it in the wine and ferment his wines. You know what I'm saying? So what are you eating that has yeast? Everything doesn't have to be a pill for the answer. Change your diet. Change what you're taking in. Natural, spiritual. Change what you're taking in. Some foods that will help you with your perimenopausal, soy, tofu, flax seeds, black cohosh, dong kai. They may provide some relief in some of those areas or all of those areas, depending on where you are with your menopause. What age, Was it surgical? Was it natural? So you kind of have to play with that on your own to see what foods are working for you, what therapies are working for you. For your mind, do puzzle books, word books. Keep your mind looking at words, keeping your mind figuring out the memory game. Play memory game with your grandkids, with your kids. That's one of my favorite games, memory. That helps keep your mind on remembering your cognitive abilities. It keeps your cognitive abilities sharper. Yeah. Vitamin B12 is highly important. If you're not taking vitamin B12 on a daily, your body probably feeling crazy. Vitamin B12, it does help with energy. It helps with energy. It also helps with hair, nails, skin, weight loss. It helps with weight loss. It speeds up your metabolism. If you're perimenopausal, you should have been on B12 because your metabolism slows down as you ages and you get older. That's another reason why you probably putting on weight. Your muscles can't carry the weight. It's hard for you to lose weight. You exercising and you still ain't losing weight. Start taking B12. There are some weight loss centers you can go in and get B12 shots once a week for $12, $20. Go get a B12 shot. You know, and they have physicians on site. You'll see a doctor there on site. Talk to the doctor there. And I used to get the B12 injections, but now I take the supplements. I go to Walmart, I get the oral vitamin B12, and I take a tube of it a day. It helps me with my weight loss when I go hit the gym. It gives me that energy. B12, you need it. B12, vitamin D, calcium, collagen. Those are automatics if you're perimenopausal. Okay, and that will help give you some results. Smoking, if you're a smoker, understand smoking dries you out. As we're talking about vaginal dryness, understand if you're a smoker, that's one other aspect that you're battling in your body with your vaginal dryness. Okay, that includes marijuana. Now, it used to be marijuana, you smoke it and you get what they call cotton mouth and your mouth dry. Well, it's drying out your oral mucosa. You have mucosa all through your body. You have mucosa all through your body, including your vaginal area. Okay, smoking does aid in drying you out. Cigarettes, okay, it constricts your blood vessels. It slows your blood flow to your vaginal area as well. So when you look at vaginal health, again, I'm going to tell you guys, what are you ingesting? Look at everything you're ingesting. And some of these things interact with each other. Some of these things contradict each other. You know, and you can discuss those things with your doctor. All the things that you do, your smoking, your diet, your exercise or lack of. And, you know, when you fill out your doctor consultation form, it'll ask you, do you drink? How many a day? Do you smoke? How many times a day? You know, they ask you all these questions. So, those are some tips. That's what I have to say about being perimenopausal. The options you have, how to take care of yourself, diet, exercise, increase your knowledge, stay active with your own health care. Don't depend on what other people tell you and try to lay on your food table for food for you to eat. Understand what you're eating, both natural and physically. Understand what you're eating. And even in the spiritual, you watch these people eat this false doctrines, false prophets, false prophecies, and then they go off and they messing up everything, messing up their relationships, messing up things in their life because it's false. It's not real. It's not God, of Yahweh. Okay? Of the Hebrew Israelites, the original God. So what are you feeding yourself? Seek for truth. Seek for good food, organic, and not just because it got an organic label on it. Go to a farmer's market or start growing your own food. Okay, learn how to grow food in an apartment. Get you a garden bed on rollers and start planting your own food. Order you some UV lights off Amazon. Have your light system. You see people, and I've seen people, I know people grow weed in their house. Okay, they got the whole UV light system. They got it all set up, and I shouldn't be saying that because I'm a nurse, but just because I'm a nurse don't mean that I don't see things, know people. I've been to people's houses. Well, I'm there to take care of their loved ones. They got a whole closet growing and bold enough to show me. So I'm like, oh, do they know I'm the nurse? I kid you not. I kid you not. From Vegas to Texas, baby. So I'm just there to take care of my client, okay? So, you know, y'all, perimenopausal can be hard. Stay active, stay youthful, stay young in your heart, in your mind. Dance, laugh, sing, create, paint, do something different. Go outside and fly a kite when it's windy. Run to the Dollar Tree or Walmart and grab a kite and just go fly your kite in the park when it's windy. Go sit at a lake or a creek. Put your feet in it. Eat lunch at the lake for the day. Find peace of mind. Peace and quiet to calm yourself. When you change these things, get rid of the sugar. Get rid of the artificial food. Get rid of the preservatives and the salt. Even manage your alcohol. They have sugar-free alcohol now. Alcohol with less sugar. Look up those brands. Change some things. If you don't do nothing different, you're not going to get nothing different. When you get rid of all this sugar and all these things and you start putting in what your body needs, the vitamin D, the B12, your hormone levels are right. Your doctor got you right on that. You do all these things. Get your breast exams done. Get your annual mammograms done. You'll start feeling all of this. The mammogram don't have nothing to do with that, but the depression will start to leave. Because sugar is a downer. It makes you feel high and then you get down and crash. And if you've been eating donuts and cakes and sodas and all this sugar all day, you got sugar you sprinkled on your cream of wheat. You got a few sugary cranberries in your oatmeal. You got a little bit of sugar in your yogurt, got sugar in it. So when you change your diet, you sleeping with sugar on you. You wake up with sugar on you. Literally yesterday was my son's birthday. Shout out Jari, love you to the moon and back, son. That's my baby son. He 27, but that was my cuddly boo boo baby. But we was sitting. I took him out to brunch, and it was this plate of he had peach French toast. It had powdered sugar on it, and this bee flew right into that powdered sugar. And we watched it, and it was literally sucking up the powdered sugar. And it stayed on his plate. After 10 minutes, I'm looking like that bee moving fast, and he ain't passed out yet. So my son took sugar and just started sprinkling it on him. That bee didn't move. He didn't even realize that there was a human over him sprinkling sugar on him. Like usually a bee see a hand coming, and it'll fly away or it'll attack you. That bee didn't move. That bee sat on that plate for 30 minutes eating up powdered sugar, and then it started moving slow, and then it started fumbling. And me and my son sitting here looking at a bumblebee, cracking up laughing. It was drunk off of powdered sugar. It was so good. It didn't see a human sprinkling his hand over it. It didn't see a human like scooping more towards it. It didn't see nothing but white powdered sugar until it just started getting slow. And then it fell over and fumbled, and then it just sat there. It couldn't move no more. Too much sugar. Depression. You laying in the bed all the time. You don't want sunlight coming through the window. You don't want to interact and socialize with anybody. You just feel down because everything you see in your life is this and that and that. You can't remember this, can't remember that. Change your diet. Change what you got coming in your eyes. Stop watching reality TV all the time. Stop watching all the conspiracy theories all the time that keep you interactive and connected out on a screen, but not around everyday people. Get out the house. When you start, realize what they're doing to you in North America. Realize what's happening. Quit letting people put anything on your plate and feed you anything. Okay? Once you start making these changes, again, vitamin D, calcium, exercise, get out the house. I don't want to exercise. Go do it anyway. Just one day, one time. Just one day, one time. Okay? Yeah. Just one day, one time. Take one step at a time. Once you do all these things, you will start feeling more better. The depression will begin to leave. The depression will begin to alleviate. If you're having issues about starting a business, or you want financial freedom, or you want freedom from a 9-to-5, you don't know what business to start, you don't know what to do, because depression, all depression comes, all of those thoughts come. Watch one of my videos that I've done. Go to one of the previous videos I've done on starting a business, AI and the new era. That's where you need to be looking. Digital products, on being online. Well, I don't want my face online. Your face don't have to be online anymore. You can do faceless. You can have an avatar that looks like you and it's not even you. Okay? There are options. So check out some of my videos, AI and the new era, starting a business, grind and hustle mode. I got all kind of videos. Go check them out and use this step and one of those steps to bridge the gaps on why you're down, why you're depressed, why you don't have any confidence, why you feel so beat down and beat up. Binge through these videos and get yourself up. Apply the things that I'm saying to you and get yourself up. Get your life together. Go purchase a journal off my website. Start journaling the steps that you're taking. Start journaling the prayers that you're praying. Start journaling what it is you want, what you want to see. Start praying over this stuff. And then I want you to journal how the answer came to you, how it came to pass, how the blessing came to pass. Journal it and write your journey down. So then when you get to a certain place and you look back, you can see how God did it. You can see how you climbed out. You can see how your life turned around. You can see how you went from sad and depressed to happy and glowing and growing. Okay? So, yes, back to get your mammograms done. You used to have to be 40 years old to get a mammogram. You used to need a referral to get a mammogram. Now you don't need a referral. And now they want you getting your mammogram done 35. Younger and younger. Why? Because we're eating artificial food with dyes and preservatives and stuff in it. We're eating a bunch of sugar and we're eating a bunch of salt. Protect your own titties. Don't depend on everything people just put on your plate. Okay? Another thing, get your colonoscopies done. I had mine done about 2 or 3 years ago, and they recommended I come back in 5 years. No, you don't want nobody in your booty. Okay? But you can stay awake or they can put you to sleep. And I'm glad I got it done. I decided to get it done because I had an uncle who, men, they the worst. That's why I'm doing this episode on men tomorrow. Men, okay, they definitely don't want nobody in the back end unless you that way. But they don't want nobody in the back end. Don't even look. Don't even think about it. Don't even come close. Okay? But my uncle, he ended up having an issue, a blockage, and he went through so many surgeries and finally he was gone. My dad, he was in pain, had a blockage. Finally he had a blockage in his colon. He had colon cancer and they removed a section of his colon. And so I watched 2 men on 2 different sides, my mother and my father's side, go through that. I said, okay, let me go get a colonoscopy. And sure enough, I went and I had 2 very small polyps, but they were enough to be cut off. But think, had I not done that for another 5 years, would it have grown? Would I had a blockage? Would I have been at the point where now I need to have a part of my colon taken out? So I'm encouraging women. They're recommending, again, well, this will be on the third video, but they're recommending that you have your colonoscopy done at the age of 45. It used to be at the age of 50, right? So I go in 3 years ago to this doctor. She was a nurse practitioner, actually. And I was like, okay, when do I need my colonoscopy? Oh, she says, oh, you don't need one till you're 50. But she didn't know I was a nurse. And I said, well, I thought, no. She said, oh, you can get it when you're 50, something like that. And I said, but I thought you could get it at age 45 or 40, 45. And she said, oh yeah, you can. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, why would you make me wait 5 more years later than to have me go around and get it now for good measure and for good conscious mind? And yet I'm sitting here asking you about it. Now, I could have depended and waited on her, but I wasn't willing to take what she was trying to serve on my table, because she wasn't sincerely thinking about me. She was thinking about protocol, procedure. What's, oh, it's flexible, don't worry about it. But I just had 2 men in my family. So to me, common sense and good rationale would say, let's do it now. You're of the age. Let's just check. But after I said that, she felt kind of, after I said, I thought 45, she's like, oh yeah, well, let's do it. She felt kind of funny because who she thought was just a regular average patient told her something that she already knew, and she didn't handle the situation like she should have. So she got pretty much called out in an indirect way. But I knew then she wasn't the physician for me. But again, I'm a nurse, and I know more than the average consumer. So, I could have said that. So, so get your breast exam done annually. If you're menopausal, peri-menopausal, request from your doctor that you have a bone density scan. A bone density scan covers your hips to see if there's any risk or any development of osteoporosis, osteopenia, softening of your bones, because those are the joints, your shoulder, your hips are what you see the elderlies usually go out with. And because your hormones are off, you may not be taking your calcium, your vitamin D, your B12, everything you need for your body to be lasting and sustaining. So they want to look at those hips. If your doctor has not asked to look at your hips yet, and you're in menopause or postmenopause, you want to ask them to do that. They should be doing that. They should be looking at your hips. And you're going to get that done about once every 5 years, just to see the progression. If you have osteoarthritis, if you have arthritis already, they should have been looked at your hips by now. Have your doctor ask a request for a bone scan, a bone density scan of your hips. And if they'll do your shoulders, have them look at your shoulders too, because those hips and shoulders are your 2 major joints, and they should be looked at. Okay. So those are some things, women, you can do, ladies, you can do to keep up with your health and stay on your P's and Q's. I also offer, in my business, Helping Communities Live, where I work with an array of people, but I teach life skills. I offer behavior support. I also work with the mental and physical disabilities community. So with that being said, I offer within that business nursing consultations. So what I do is people who are uncertain what procedures, if they should have this procedure, if they shouldn't have that procedure. Again, like what I talked about, the bladder meshes. I have a co-worker that I worked with in the salon. I'm a nail tech, but she's an esthetician. And so And it's a med spa, you know, because nurses work in med spas as well. We have an RN, we have a nurse practitioner, I'm an LVN. So we work in the med spa with different, you know, different procedures. People come in for Botox, they come in for lip fillers, they come in for, you know, face peels, all these different services that the spa offers. So, but that isn't connected to the spa. My business is my business that I own. But I do offer, because I also do what's called host home, foster care, respite. I offer respite care services, meaning, you know, people with special needs children, they need a break. They just need a break. You know, they do it 24/7 every day, all day. They need a break. So they come into my company and I'll care for them anywhere for a few hours up to 45 days. The parent don't have to worry about anything. And then when they come back, they're refreshed. They can take their loved one home. So that's respite care. But I offer nursing consultations and assessments because sometimes there may be an allegation filed and they need a nurse. Okay, there was an allegation of abuse. There was an allegation of neglect. We need a nurse to come do an assessment. So I go in, I do a physical, mental assessment. I assess the home. I write my report. Bam. Okay. And the state comes in. If they have a state audit, the state audit will read my report. They'll read my assessment. And, you know, they'll go on, do whatever they got to do. Okay. So in my business, helping communities live, and I'm going to offer this to you guys as well. Again, consultations. So the esthetician at the spa, she's telling me that she got a bladder mesh and she regrets it. And I told her, well, if I knew you before you got that done, you know, you could have done a consultation with me and I could have laid out some facts for you, some information for you, so that you could make a well-informed decision on if that was the best decision for you. And I'll just sit there and watch her cry. I trusted my doctor. I trusted my doctor. I trusted my doctor. And now I have this chronic pain and I can't do it. And I, you know, I'm not in the spa as a personal coach or anything, but I consoled her. I gave her options. I gave her the best I could, but that's permanent. That's irreversible. Okay? So I offer nursing consultations. And if you know anybody, you know, your grandma, your kid, your children, your grandchildren, your aunts, co-workers, if you just want a nurse that's outside of your insurance network or your medical group network, to give you an outside assessment, and resources and information to help you make an informed decision, that's what I'm here for. That's another service that I offer, and I'm offering it to you guys now because some people don't know. They don't have the knowledge that I have. They don't. And again, you know, not to go back over my father's death, but his wife at the time, she's not a nurse. She doesn't know anything but what she learned on TV or with her own experience or what she heard someone else say. She's not educated. She's not licensed. She didn't know. But I watched her fight me so hard while I'm trying to care for my father. And I'm vetting the nurses. I'm vetting the doctors. She didn't know everything I have access to. My dad wasn't even eating and she wasn't trying to get him to eat. She wasn't trying to feed him. You know what I'm saying? I had to have them put him on nutrition. PTN. Through his port. And I talked to the doctor. I'm like, can we get PTN for my dad? Because he's not eating, but he'll put on weight. And right now, life is literally leaving him. We're already draining his lungs 2 times a day. And so she's literally fighting me while I'm trying to give life to my father. Okay? And again, that's mixing skills. Because as a nail tech, I understand how to do lymphatic drainage, meaning all that excess weight that's on you, that third spacing weight, fluid, salt. I know how to work the body, the feet, the legs, the hands, to get your body to drain off that fluid. I understand reflexology in the feet, how to press those points. If I want to touch something in your brain, If I want to touch something and, work with your lungs or your shoulder or your bladder or your whatever, your back, your lower back pain, your whatever, I know how to push those points. But she could not take the level of skill and talent and professionalism that I carry. She went around lying, trying to make me look bad to my own blood and my own family. Okay, when she could have simply showed love and support because she wanted to see her husband live a well life and die a good death. That's not what she wanted. So now I'm a person dealing with me and I'm looking at her as a mental health nurse and a professional. I'm seeing all of her holes, all of her personal development work that has never been done, all of her jealousy, her hatred, her envy, her strife, her spiritual practices that she's been doing, saying she's a Christian, but she's doing witchcraft practice. I'm looking at all of this. Y'all better understand who you're dealing with when you deal with Shema. I see you like digital. I think I'm AI halfway. Here's your ticket. Here's your ticket. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, y'all, knowing, I do consultations, and she tried her best. She didn't want me to know my father's medical history. She was trying to keep it from me, but I am convinced, had she not been trying to pit my father against his daughter and allowed me in earlier into his process of cancer, there's a whole lot of things that would have went different. His outcome would have been a whole lot different. A whole lot different. But because her heart was envy and greed and jealousy, she was trying, it was more taking life from my father, taking life from me and my children and my sister and her. She was taking, instead of giving to help things grow and change and heal and develop. And so watching that, you take, and trying to fight that spiritually and naturally, and trying to heal this and help him cross over. I've heard someone say a death doula. Help him transition in the spirit with God, because he wasn't in the best place. But because I'm spiritual, remember again, I'm a holistic nurse. I also see in the spirit realm. I also hear from the Holy Spirit and God. So fighting a demonic presence and ugly stuff, and watching God heal and move and work, and being able to help transition in the spirit and tapping into angels and ancestors and seeing these things happen, it was a growth experience for me. It was a straight growth experience. And but I'm here for consultation. I could have done a lot more for my father had there not been a nasty person working against my family. My father's outcome would have been different. And my dad was a firefighter. He retired 33 years, but he thought he knew it all. Daddy, you 74, 75, your 70s, you still know, but you're not working in the field anymore. Your information is... And I'm in that thing now where we using AI in the medical field. We're using AI in the hospitals. We're using AI. So the things, and I'm still in the training. I'm in there. I'm doing this thing. I'm traveling nurse. I'm nursing in Las Vegas. I'm nursing in Texas. I'm nursing. I'm talking to people in North Carolina. I'm talking to people in Arizona, Reno, Nevada, wanting me to come. They're sending me job offers. They're wanting me to come. And my dad on his deathbed, and he watching these nurses and doctors come in offering me jobs because they see how I run my shift. But if there wasn't somebody working so hard against me and my father, his outcome would have been different. But the proof is in the pudding. Her actions showed who she was and what she was aiming for. And so I am here for consultations. You can comment below, and it doesn't matter what it is. If it's a medication you're unsure of, it's a medical procedure you're unsure of, and I'm telling you, the medical procedures, once your eyes are closed, you want to know that you're getting what you discussed and what you thought you were going to get. Okay? Because even at the hospital with my father, I discussed with the doctor certain things that I did not want done and done. I come in, I went just to go get something to eat. I come back, they got my dad prepped to put a whole nother port in his arm, and that's not what we discussed. He has a port. Use the one he has. What doctor who ordered this that you thought you were going to put another port? So you're going to want to watch my third video where I give an overall concept view of the healthcare system and what you guys need to do to protect yourself, your family, your health, your mind, your spirit, your body, your soul, your life. Okay? And I hope you guys enjoyed all this information. You can also reach me on my website, futuremepro.com. Go to contact me and you can shoot me an email. So I'm here for consultations. If you want therapy, personal development coaching, life coaching, premarital coaching, you can reach out to me on the contact page on my website or shoot me a message here, and we will make that happen. Okay, so thank you for joining. Thank you for enduring. I know this episode is hour and 15 minutes so far. And thank you again. I hope you've enjoyed all of this professional nursing knowledge and information. I just want to see you guys blessed, healthy, and well, and smiling, living a beautiful life. So till next time, love y'all. Yip yip.